Not everyone who smiles with you is for you. Let me say that again. Not everyone who smiles with you is for you. Let me explain. Hey guys, welcome back to the Anchor Show. My name is Andrew. Today I'm going to be talking about the wolf in sheep clothes in our lives, how to detect them, and how to get rid of them out of your life. Let's get right into it. All right, so many of us have had people in our life who comes and goes, at different stages of our lives, whether it's school, work, relationship, whatever it might be. We've all had people around us, friends, even family members, acquaintances, who in real time acted as if they are for you, they're with you, they're cool, they're excited for you and your growth and your success and whatever it is that you got going on, right? Only with the passage of time, as you're reflecting, you then realize, man, this person was never for me. This person never cared about me. This person never even liked me. This person was never about me and my success. They were just here for their own benefit. They was just here with an ulterior motive, looking for what it is that they can get out of the relationship, right? So this is something that I feel like almost every single person in life has experienced at least one time, right? So how do we deal with that, right? If this is something that is common and everybody kind of experience it once or even some people multiple times, how do we deal with it? First of all, right, as men, we're taught how to be strong, to have good judgment, to trust our instinct, to trust our gut, etc. But let's be honest, sometimes we miss the signs, and this is also very common in relationships, right? You will see what we would call red flags. You will see signs that tells you, hey, maybe I should be a little bit cautious with this person. Maybe I should, go slow, get to know them better before I commit to anything, and yet we ignore those signs, right? And oftentimes when you ignore those signs, the outcome, if you don't catch it in time, usually is not pleasant. It's usually an unpleasant outcome because we've allowed those people to stick around for far too long to give them enough time to do their dirty deed. So discernment becomes very critical, right? Being able to identify these signs and situations early enough and be able to take the necessary action is crucial. When someone comes into your life with the intent of bringing you down, or they're just there to monitor, to watch, to see what you got going on, and they have no good feeling for you, they have no good intent for you or towards you, everything about them is just to be conniving, vindictive, and just evil, right? You're never going to see them in their truest self at the beginning. They're never going to show up with that, fangs out, horns out, because if you're going to see it, then you're going to shun them, you're going to run away, you're going to remove yourself from that situation, right? So generally how they show up is sometimes they're some of the nicest people you'll ever meet, or at least you think, because they're going to play along. If they come with the intent of, I'm going to monitor this person, I'm going to observe them, I'm going to tear them down, I'm going to backstab, I'm going to do whatever I need to do to ensure that they don't rise, they don't elevate, they don't level up, right? They're not going to show up with horns and fangs and paws and any of that. They're going to show up with a smile. They're going to show up with softness. They're going to show up with support, or at least what appears to be support. They're going to show up in a way that tricks your brain into thinking that this is a good person, this is a kind person, this person is for me, this person means me well. That's how they're going to show up. That is the wolf in sheep clothes approach, because this is a wolf that is completely cloaked with sheep clothing. So you're looking at them like, oh, that's just another sheep. That's just another harmless sheep, right? Until the mask comes off. And then their true identity and personality is put on full display. But sometimes, if you only identify that when they've taken the mask off, it's too late. That is too late, right? So we need to be able to identify that well in advance. So how do we identify a wolf in sheep clothes, right? A lot of times it starts with your gut feelings, right? And I'm going to be honest, because I've been played by a wolf in sheep clothes on multiple occasions, right? So I'll be honest, sometimes these individuals are so good at what they do, you'll never be able to tell, at least not right away. You might have a slight sense of maybe skepticism, or maybe a voice in the back of your head might be telling you, maybe you want to be careful. But it's never really, so with some people it's never like blatant, it's never like strong in your face, like this is not right, this person is off, where you can feel it and see it and then do something about it. Sometimes they are very conniving, they're very good at what they do. So how you identify it, you have to be able to trust yourself, trust your gut feelings, trust your instinct, because 9 out of 10 times your inner self is talking to you, right? You're going to feel those feeling like, something doesn't quite seem right with this person, right? You're gonna see it. And sometimes there are signs. Sometimes because think about it. Think about an actor, for example, right? Someone, a big movie star. Well, you can pick anyone, right? Your favorite movie star. When they're on set, on screen, they're performing, they're acting, right? They're playing a role. That is something that it takes practice, it takes focus, it takes commitment and dedication. But obviously, there are going to be times when they revert back to their authentic personality. They revert back to who they truly are. So it's the same thing with these wolf in sheep clothes. They're playing a role. They're putting on a performance whenever they come around you to make you think and feel and believe that there's something that which they're not. So you have to pay attention to those subtle inconsistencies, right? And the most important thing is, when someone show you their hands the very first time, you shall never give them the chance to do it again. Especially if you're a full-grown adult. If someone show you their hands the first time, don't give them the chance to do it again. This is your opportunity to be looking at them sideways. This is your time and chance to give them some extra attention, because once they show their hands, that's them reverting back to their authentic self. They slipped up a little bit. So when you see it, don't make excuses for them. Don't allow them to make excuses and then you buy that excuse. You must be fully aware that, okay, this is off, this is different, and pay attention to it, right? Majority of the times there are little signs that are dropped here and there, little hints here and there. But sometimes this person, their character, their personality, they might be so overpowering or overwhelmingly pretentious, right? Whatever it is that they're doing, it's like they are so kind, so overly loving, so overly supportive, right? When they do show those little dirty behaviors, those little fangs, right? You play it off, because overwhelmingly they're displaying a positive attitude or a positive behavior. So whenever those negative ones show up, those red flags, we have the tendency of kind of like shoving it to the side, making excuses, forgiving them, move on, forget about it, right? No, never do that. That is where you're wrong. When they show those fangs, when those horns come out, when the mask comes off and you see that for the first time, you best believe that's who they truly are. That is truly who they are, and you must pay attention to that and move accordingly. Another way of identifying these people is look at what it is that you do for them. Analyze and assess the relationship you have with this individual, right? What is it that you do for them compared to what they do for you? How much of yourself and energy are you giving to them in comparison to what they're giving back to you, right? Sometimes this is one good way of identifying whether or not they're truly there for you. Let's say, for example, you're always doing for this person, always doing for them. And then you find yourself in a situation where you needed their help and assistance, and they were in the position to do it, but refused to do it for whatever reason. That is a sign. Now, I will say that might not necessarily be a case of, okay, this person is not for me, they're a wolf in sheep clothes. Not necessarily on its own, but it is a sign worthwhile paying attention to. The other thing is, pay attention to what they say. Listen to what they say, right? Say, for example, you have a business idea. Let's use that as an example. And you pitch this idea to this person, and they are like, okay, they're down talking you. They're finding every which reason and ways where this business won't work, or it will fail, or this is so hard you shouldn't even bother to try it, right? Again, that on its own might not necessarily be a wolf in sheep clothes, but it is definitely a sign to pay attention to. Remember, I said before, they usually drop little signs, little hints. So that is something to pay attention to, because someone who is truly for you, their opinion is going to sound something like this. You know, I don't think I could do it, but I think it's a great idea. And if this is what you really want to do, then you should go ahead and try it. You should go ahead and, give it your best shot. If there's anything I can do to support you, let me know. I don't think I could do it, but more power to you. That's what it would sound like when someone is truly for you. However, someone who is not for you, they're going to tell you every reason why, yeah, I don't think you should do it, man. Like, that's hard. That's a lot of work. It's going to take a lot of money. And if it doesn't work, you're going to lose all this money and blah, 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 blah. It's all negativity, right? You know this person is not for you. You know they don't want to. And a lot of times what happens, they are threatened of your potential. They're threatened of your ability. And so in addition to that, they feel inferior to you and your competence and your abilities and your potential. They feel threatened by your potential growth and success and leveling up. So they project their insecurities upon you by giving you these negative advice and trying to talk you down and talk you out of doing this thing that you want to pursue. That is another sign. So there's tons of signs and tons of ways of identifying these individuals and building a case against them, right? So let's just say you have identified this person, right? You've seen all the signs, you put the pieces together, it makes sense. You're like, okay, this person is not for me. They never was, right? What do you do, right? What do you do next, right? What if this is a family member? What if this is a really good friend? What if this is a relationship, right? What do you do? This is where a lot of people get stuck. This is where a lot of people have the most difficulty. It's like you identify that this person is not for you, but you don't do nothing about it, right? Whether out of fear, whether out of guilt, whatever it might be, you sit there and do nothing about it. And the longer you sit in that position, right, it's the more you give them the opportunity to truly hurt you, right? So one of the first things that you have to do is set boundaries, right? And the thing about boundaries is something that you should set with every single person. Every form of relationship you enter into, work relationship, romantic relationship, business relationship, social relationship, any form of relationship, boundaries is something that is extremely important that you should set right from the jump. Because when we don't set boundaries, people will cross a line over and over again. And find yourself having to set new boundaries each time they cross. Just set it up front. If you're able to do that, that's going to draw the line and it's going to tell them, hey, this person is not to be messed with, right? Let's say you're a passive individual and you're not really good at standing up to people and defending yourself and setting boundaries and things of that nature. The next thing you can do is isolate yourself. Remove yourself from these people, right? And I am fully aware of the fact that that's not easy to do. It's a lot easier to said than done, especially if you're talking about a relationship. If you're in a relationship with a woman and she's not for you, she doesn't support you, she knock your ideas, she doesn't uplift you, and clearly she's not for you, right? That is your choice and decision to leave. And I know it might not be as easy to just pack up and leave, especially if you guys share things together like assets or you live together or, I know that that's not something that you can just get up on a whim and just do it and you're gone, you're done and you've moved on, right? I know that's difficult, but what's your alternative, right? And I'm not advising you to say that's what you need to do, but it's definitely something that you need to consider, because what's the point in being in a relationship where you're giving people access to you? They're within proximity to you. They're within an arm's length apart from you. and they're clearly not for you. They're not with you. Their intention is to harm you, right? A wolf does not show up to play with the sheep. He shows up to eat. He shows up to kill and eat, right? So if you're in a relationship with this person, whether it's a romantic relationship, work, friendship, business, whatever, and you've identified that this person is a wolf in sheep clothes, why stick around? Why stick around? That is your cue to take the necessary action. Whatever that necessary action may look like. It might be you breaking up from that relationship. It might be you ending that business partnership. It might be you stop hanging out with these people. Whatever the case might be, it is in your hands to take the necessary action. Because what happens when you don't, you sit there being all passive and then give this person the opportunity to hurt you in a way that you probably can't recover from. I have seen this happen so many times before, and I've also personally experienced this where, you kind of like trust people more than you should. You give them the benefit of the doubt. You let their charm or their personality trick you into thinking that they are good people, and even though you've seen the signs. Eventually I was put in a position where I needed to make that call, where I'm going to cut off these relationships. I'm going to sever the ties, and that's exactly what I did. Some of them, initially it wasn't easy, but eventually I've gotten to a point where it's easy for me. Like I'll cut you off in the drop of a dime. I'll cut you off now and never look back if needs be, because I'm not going to give you the chance and the opportunity to hurt me or to get close enough to try to hurt me, right? Once you've shown the signs and I've used my discernment and identified that you're not a good individual, you're not for me, you don't support me, you're not with me, then I'm gone. You won't see me again. You won't hear from me again. I'm done with you, right? And that's what we have to learn how to do. We have to normalize the ability to sever ties, to cut people off, to cut things off that is not good for us, that is not beneficial to us, and that is not going to help us in our development and our leveling up in this life. We have to learn how to unapologetically cut those things off, cut those people off, and move forward with our lives. So as you continue to go, as you're growing as a guy and you're developing and you're leveling up, you're spiritually growing, you're developing personally, and these are things that you got to keep in mind. Discernment is a skill that we must have, right? Learn to trust, learn to pay attention to people's action versus their words. Action always speak louder than words. Now, someone who is intent on tricking you, right? They're going to let their actions speak louder than their word in a way that convinces you that they're a good person. But that's where deep discernment comes in. That's where knowing yourself. And when you know yourself and trust yourself, you're gonna feel it. If you can't see it by what they're doing, if they're not doing things that cue you in that, okay, this person is not good for me, this person is not a good friend, this person is not a good whatever, right? If they're not actively doing those things because they're so good at what they do, then you got to be able to trust your guts. You got to be able to trust your feelings, because it's going to tell you that energy. See, the thing about it, people can lie to you with words, they can lie to you with actions, but they can't lie to you, they can't hide energy. Energy is something that cannot be disguised. You can't hide your energy. If I come around you and your energy isn't right and you have ill intent and you're feeling that in your energy while you're around me, I'm going to be able to pick up that energy. I'm going to feel it. Even if I give you the benefit of the doubt, I'm going to feel that energy, right? So they can lie to your face, they can say whatever they want, but the energy cannot lie. So learn to develop your discernment ability. It is a skill that is pivotal, because it's, as I said, it's applicable to any aspect of your life, any area of your life as you're growing as a person. Whether it's in business, right? You have to look out for those tricky business partners that's trying to, rip you off. You have to look out for tricky customers who's trying to rip you off, right? If it's in a romantic relationship, you don't want to be wrapped up in a relationship with someone who is just there to bring you down, and they're not going to elevate you and support you as you rise and grow, right? If it's a friendship, any form of relationship, the skill of discernment is crucial, it's pivotal for you to have and for you to put into action. as you navigate the world and dealing with people on a daily basis. So let's continue to work on that as we grow and develop as people. And that's where I'm going to leave it for today, guys. So if you are brand new to this channel, if you're watching this video and you're not yet subscribed to the channel, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate that. If for all my subscribers watching this video, please give it a like. I am really trying to grow this channel, and of course the likes, the comments, the shares, etc. help the channel to grow and grow fast and consistent. It also motivates me to keep going with these videos. So thank you so much. As I like to say, until the next one, guys, let us continue to grow, evolve, and transform into the best version of ourselves. Peace.